So you look at these numbers all together. Again, there's some nuance. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe it's not. I think it's possibly intentional. But in that one, it's 2 billion engaged with it. Then the other one was 2.7 billion fans viewed some form of media. And the other one was 5 billion engaged with the tournament in some way. So they're just like slightly different phraseologies, which make it, and again, more confusing. But to give context of all those numbers I gave, here's what they're suggesting is based on these numbers and based on the minor assumption that number of fans and number of people engaged is effectively the same type of statistic. If you compare the Club World Cup with the Women's World Cup, it means the Club World Cup, by their metrics, was viewed by 35% more people and was attended by 25% more fans. And the Men's World Cup obviously is the bigger tournament, but the scale of the audience and reach there was 54% of the Men's World Cup and achieved 73% of the live attendance. Now, like, I don't have any way of like justifying my thoughts here, but I just can't see a way how those numbers can be backed up properly. And maybe they're true in some way, and ultimately, this day and age, the consumption of sports media is going up and up and up because the consumption of all media is going up and up and up. So, and this report that they produced was done by Nielsen in this instance. They made a point of stating that, so the number is backed up by one of the most credible sources in the industry. But I think we've come to a point now where, like, how far do you go? Do you say, can you really seriously say that one tournament is being watched by 5 billion people, engaged with in some way? I don't know how many people don't have access to the appropriate technology across the world, but I'm guessing it's going to be close to the number that didn't. So they're assuming that every single person in the world that has access to a smartphone or a TV has basically watched it. That's basically the number. I mean, where else do they go for the next one? I'm very curious to see what that number looks like in a couple of years' time or next year. So I'll stop there, and I've got some further
Yeah.
thoughts. But what's your initial views on that, Chris?
I only have anecdotal thoughts. Again, I'm not Nielsen. I don't have access to the data, and maybe people are just liars. And again, it's a small portion. And the thing is, like, my circle is pretty much UK, America. There's a hell of a lot of people that live in, Asia that I have no clue. But the amount of people I spoke to, people that are close that I know are sports fans that are like, I literally didn't watch a single second. Again, we're talking about drop of a water in the ocean sort of thing. But if these are people that are super hardcore sports fans, they're like, I didn't watch it. There's a bit that's difficult. Like, and who knows? Maybe, India and China, they loved it and they were all over it. But I don't know. It feels, it feels high.
Well, look, I'd say a couple of things on that. So this 2.7 billion number that they've shared, this is an engagement number. Now, this is the problem we have in society and indeed with social media, because what would happen is, Chris, you may have not have watched a single second of live content, but I bet you were served at some stage some content. You may have scrolled right past. You might have scrolled past immediately, but you count as a metric there. And that's the tricky conundrum we're in is now. Does that mean, is that seriously valuable to, oh, well, I've reached 2.7 million cumulative. Have you though? Like, have you really? If the people are actively moving away from your content, does that count? And apparently at the moment, in this day and age, it does. And that is the bit that is really difficult to digest.